Interesting. So what was your take? Was your take that technology was not the primary driver of disruption, but the business model is the primary driver? And where did you come to that thesis and conclusion?
So I think the first realization that I had was when I read an article, and it was a very small startup. It was a startup that was actually one person, and this person was about, I think, 17 years old. And what he was doing is he had a website that was growing fast by selling watches online, watch e-commerce. This was about 2011, I think. And he was selling watches online, and he was doing a lot of sales, great success, and he was 17 years old. And I contacted him and I tried to understand what he was doing. And basically what I realized is he was selling watches, but he didn't manufacture the watches. The watches was manufactured in China, as most watches. He imported the watches, but he wasn't the importer. There was another company importing and distributing the watches. And he didn't make the website. He had another company make the website. And you would go to his website and choose select the watches. And he didn't even fulfill when somebody bought the watches. It was another company that did that. So basically, this kid had a business, a thriving business selling watches, but he didn't make the watch, he didn't distribute, he didn't deliver the watches, he didn't make the website, he didn't almost anything. I said, well, what do you do actually? Because he had his own brand and it was successful. And basically, he had a collection of companies that was working all across the what I call the customer value chain, which is the activities that you and me have to go through in order to compare, shop, purchase, and acquire watches. And all he did was, use Facebook to get attention to his website. But after that, there was all sorts of companies that did everything on his behalf. And it dawned on me how you could have a thriving business with your own brand and customers don't even know it, and that you're actually not doing any of these aspects. You just put together different businesses and they do different parts of the customer value chain. And he was growing really fast. And I thought, well, that's fascinating because in the past this was not possible, And that's where I came up with this idea of decoupling, in which you look at the activities that customers have to engage through in the process of buying and using and disposing of goods and services. And you focus on only one activity. And in this case, this kid was focusing on getting attention to his and traffic to his website. And then you disregard all the other activities and let somebody else do it. You let a competitor do it. You let a company that is specialized in doing it, but you just do one small activity. And with that, he built a business model around just doing that and doing it very well because he understood that the most important thing in watch was people wanted something distinct and something that validated that that was a good purchase. And he did that with social media advertising. The rest really wasn't a big problem. There were companies willing to do that. So that was the first idea of this, that you go into, as an entrepreneur, you go into see an opportunity. Instead of doing everything, you focus on one small activity, and then you start building a business model around this. And yes, there's technologies behind it, but it's not this idea of this disruptive technology that you have and nobody else has. It's very unique and all of these things. Most of the time, entrepreneurs, including Facebook for long periods of time, you just have the standard technologies available to everybody else.